So on the screen, you can see a sea of technologies within Alex being connected to each other, right? And we have a new member, which is SAS Viya. And as we can see, SAS Viya is being connected to ADF, Snowflake, and Oracle, right? So in this demo, we will explore two items within SAS Viya environment, right? We have data flows, which is sort of an ETL process in SAS Viya, and then we will see an example for a report, right, for SAS Viya and C. And on both of these things, we will see an end-to-end lineage, how things looks like within Alex, right? Let's see what are the different objects we have within SAS Viya, right? So here we can see what the reports and their lineage, right? So we have reports which is SAS tables, the source for it, right? And then we have data flows, we have data sets being uh, to and fro relationships, and then we have SAS tables, right? So this is some SAS Viya components being interlinked, yeah, right, with each other. So let's head over to our desired flow, which is sample.flow in this case, in this demo. Let's head over and search it and open our data lineage view. Now expand it and then head over to our sample flow and let's do an end-to-end on it. Now what we see the full pictures. Let's group by our technology. Here we can see this SAS Viya data flow is getting data, right, is being connected to three different technologies like you see previously in the map view. We have an ADF activity which is triggering this particular SAS Viya data flow, and then we have source tables within Snowflake. If we expand it, this hierarchy, right, we see these are some input tables, right, which we have connected to the data flow, and we have an Oracle source being and acting as an input and an output. This table 4 is an output to it. So similar to an ETL ETL cycle where we have source and destination tables, right? So this is a typical example for it. We can see which on which data flows this particular Snowflake table is being used. For example, now if we do an end-to-end on this particular teacher table, we can see it is being connected to these 4 different data flows, right? One of them obviously is sample flow, previous one, and 2 of them is outputting to this Oracle source. Here we see our source and target information and an example for one of a data flow within SAS Viya. Now similar to this, we can also see some examples, some properties what we have inside the data flow, right? For example, this data flow is if we open up some useful information what we have from the metadata, right? So when this asset is created, when it's modified, right, and who is the owner of the data flow, right? And similar we can also see what API path we have, right? And some very useful information for this particular data flow. Similar to data flow, we can search our desired sample report here, and again we will search it, and again we can open up our data lineage view. Here we have our sample report, again doing end-to-end on this sample report, and here we can see we have some SAS tables being connected to this reports, which means this is acting as an input tables, right, in SAS Viya. So we can expand our hierarchy and we see this CAS provider with a data source ID of Cascade default with some its libraries, and we can see the full hierarchy of where the data is coming from within this report, right? Similar to data flows, right, we can do an end-to-end on this. So which reports are using this as sample source CAS table, and if we expand it, we see we have 2 reports, right? One within hierarchy, one without hierarchy from the metadata, right? So we have sample reports for sample 2. Similar to this, similar to our data flow, what we see is we can also see the information for this particular report, right? And we have a list of JSON elements for different visual elements, charts, tables. We report this is currently present in as a JSON in for to view what are the different objects we have inside the report, and then we have some useful information like in which folder this report exists, who is the owner, right? And here we can see an end-to-end lineage or this particular SAS Viya report.